I actually do put on makeup at the light, so the hands-free ordinance doesn't affect me at all. I'm just actually doing it for rhetorical effect. Did you know I had road rage, by the way? And you're gonna look and see what you're doing? I'm putting on makeup and I got more pay attention than you do. Thank you. See?
Callan, stop playing with your phone.
It'll be fine.
Callan,
It'll be
you're
fine.
doing right. Callan, give me.
You know what? No, give me my phone.
Callan, Callan. Oh, no, Callan. Callan, go. Callan, into the stop sign.
Don't ever hurt nobody, Joe!
One of the reasons why I like San Marcos is when you've got small business buddies and friends, they're always political. At least all my friends are. And we're going to get schooled right now by Mr. Bill Taylor.
On what it used to be the Robinson Ranch.
1985. Where are you? Where's the photo?
I'm the guy in the dark hair right there.
That's awesome.
And that's Congressman Pickle to my immediate right.
That's awesome.
And the other two fellows, one of them is his administrative head, and the other one is a fellow with the Soil Conservation Service. Administrator of the Upper San Marcos Watershed District. This district was created in response to the floods that happened here in 1970 and 72. Congressman Jake Pickle was very instrumental in getting this district formed and getting the funding that we needed, the federal funding, to do these dams. The citizens of San Marcos voted a tax on themselves to pay for the easements for these structures. And that one-time tax that they voted on themselves has been repaid almost annually ever since then. So this is probably one of the best uses for taxpayer funds that I can imagine, because when you get that kind of return constantly over the lifespan of these structures, it's just wonderful.
Wow, my mind is blown away. I didn't know about any of this stuff. This is so cool. I thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome.
Okay, San Marcos, the night vision report is on the timeline. It's 12:28. This is the night vision report of San Marcos, Texas. Coming up for you tonight, we've got a little bit of Bill Taylor coming up. He's going to give you some expert testimony on what's going on with the dams, of the dam flood here in San Marcos. Then we're going to have a little bit of trash talk and just a sneak peek. Tomorrow Rob's going to come help me. Here's a spoiler alert. He's going to come help me separate my trash. And it's quite telling actually, because if you look at my porch, I've got tons of it from the past reports on those political push cards. We've got a little bit of, gosh, what else is going on? I don't know, you can just like tune in. This is the Belvin Bell Casita front porch stoop speeches. Right? The old days, they called them stump speeches, but on Belvin we call them the stoop speeches. Y'all know I can be an airhead about some things and super smart about others, but this is too funny. My neighbor is so awesome. I just came out to get my trash and I'm like, what's the deal? And he had to explain to me what's going on. I'm thinking of all the political commentaries and things I've busted in town. I can't figure out this trash deal. This is so funny, y'all. I'm gonna have to redo. There's my Amy's Pizza trash. The other thing we were joking about is with my master's degree, I did not open up the leaflet and read it. But I want to say why I'm concerned. Not only the confusion, because now there's like 3 things, right? There's this, then there's the other 2. Now I'll tell you why I am confused. Undo all this trash now. My favorite thing in the world. This is just going to be lovely. Okay, let's break it down, people. Why I have gotten slightly confused. This is the thing for that, and that's the trash can. This is ridiculous. And then there's a third one. Loving all the extra projectiles in Flash Flood Alley and all the extra, I don't know, do they recycle the recycle bins? So let's break it down, y'all. We've got the biggest one is not the trash. It's these other things. Oh boy, this is crazy. What have we become? And apparently there's like one day where the trash comes, and then another day when the bulk comes, and then another day when the recycling comes, and yippee, we get to put tree limbs and stuff now. Oh gosh, guys. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to like get some labels and laminate them to remind myself, and then put an iCal on there, and then a Facebook event to do my trash.
I got my high heels on. I got my high heels on. I got my high heels on. I got my high heels on.
This is why I like San Marcos, is when you've got small business buddies and friends, they're always political. At least all my friends are, and we're going to get schooled right now by Mr. Bill Taylor, looking around with the different dams and so forth in town.
Well, you know, my other job besides the car lot is I'm the administrator of the Upper San Marcos Watershed District. And so, as such, I'm in charge, I say in charge, but I have responsibility for the 5 structures around San Marcos to make sure maintenance is done and that repairs are done after we have events like this recent one. And we had, with all the rain that we had in the short duration, we had the emergency spillways, which are the wide areas that that the public could actually see on site number 5, next to the Ranch Road 12 overpass. There, a lot of people were able to see how the emergency spillways function. What happens is when you have rain that is in excess of 100-year flood, it rather than overcoming the dam, it goes around the emergency spillways. That's the way they're designed, so that the structure of the dam remains even if you have in excess of 100-year flood. So anyway, that a lot of people were able to see these. Some of these watershed structures do not have public access. Sites 1, which is on Freeman Ranch, Site 4, which is on the old Robinson Ranch that has just recently been sold, Site 2, which is up on Hilliard Road, and Site 3, which Jane Hewson, the city council person, has part of that one. And so we go out and we try to determine what the structural damage, if there is any, on these sites are. And I can tell you that in spite of the heavy rain that we had, all the structures' integrity is fine. We have no problems with the integrity of the dams themselves. The emergency spillways, however, had a lot of use, and unfortunately, a lot of the fines in the emergency spillways were lost downstream. I don't know how the county is going to approach this. We will do, I say we will do, the Soil Conservation Service, who went out there with me, will do a survey, and they will make recommendations to the sponsors, and the county is one of the sponsors. So is the city. And we'll see what they decide to do about the soil that was lost on the emergency spillways in this event. It's not the first time that we've had floods, obviously, that have been in excess of 100-year flood. And anybody with any common sense at all will tell you that in this area, a 100-year flood doesn't happen once in 100 years. Unfortunately, we're in an extremely flash flood area, and rain overcomes these dams pretty quickly. So that's the situation. We'll have to see what Commissioner's Court and the Soil Conservation Service comes up with if they want to remedy some of the damage to the emergency spillways. But the main story here is that these dams worked and they prevented a much, much worse flood in San Marcos.
Thank you very much. That was, I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of information that you provide the public. We really appreciate your hard work, your public service.
Well, I've been doing this since 1978.
Wow.
So,
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's,
That's awesome.
it's routine, but unfortunately, where we're located by the geography of this region, we're going to have flash floods. There's nothing we can do to stop that. They're going to happen. We have tried to alleviate some of the worst damage with these structures that the San Marcos citizens voted to have the soil conservation bill. And so they're still up there, they're doing their jobs, and we're fortunate that we have them.
Thank you. We're fortunate to have you in our community, Mr.
Well,
Taylor. Thank you for all you do, sir.
Thank you.
Took shelter in the bedroom, not the bedroom, the bathroom in his apartment. The three of us live on campus. Then later, we decided that we needed to get to campus sooner rather than later, and when we went outside, we saw a block from us, the Blanco River was up really high, and like we saw whole trees floating by.
Where was this?
Over by
Over
the
by
lodge
the lodge,
apartments.
over on Ocarina,
Yeah.
Wow.
across the highway.
Wow. So you guys had to evacuate then?
Yeah,
Basically,
we took like the last
We
bus
got
to
out
campus.
right before they put in the evacuation notice.
Wow. Idea what was going on. I thought it was a thunderstorm and I just loved the energy and painted murals. I'm shocked. I was just so in my own little painting world. I didn't know any of this was going on. I literally woke up to pay my bills about 2 o'clock and I'm like, I can't get, my bank is closed. What's up with that? And then I'm like, I can't get across town. And then now I'm like, whoa, there was a flood. The last flood, I fell asleep during Memorial. I fell asleep and I woke up right when it started. I was up all night.
And here's a picture that was in the of Jake Pickle, that was in the brochure that we distributed when we had the dedication of all the sites.
Very
And that was
interesting.
in '91.
That's awesome. There's awesome history, San Marcos history. And I love how you're talking about how that little bit of text.
This is one of the structures. This is, if you could get that, this is Story Robinson Dam, which is on what used to be the Robinson Ranch, which has recently been sold and we understand going to be developed. I was glad to see that they're talking about not developing right up to and around the structure. So they say that's gonna be they're gonna preserve that as a wild preserve. I hope that's true. That would be great because we really don't need people getting on that structure. That structure is over 100 feet tall.
Wow.
The principal spillway, which you can barely see in this old faded photograph, is over 30 feet tall.
Wow.
But it gives you an idea of the scale.
Sure does. Thank you again.
Okay, you're welcome.